Sawadee krap, I'm JP Mestanza. Today is Tuesday, July 15th. You're watching Phuket Xtra, brought to you by PVCPhuket.com. After decades of debate, the Patong Tunnel is finally moving from dream to dig site. The Expressway Authority of Thailand, EXAT, confirms that all property required for the 3.98-kilometer Koh Kaew Patong Expressway has been expropriated, and compensation, about 5 billion baht, has reached most of the 230 entitled owners, according to Widawit Kurosambat, the president of the Patong Municipality Council. Patong municipality crews are now clearing buildings and vegetation. That work is expected to be finished by September 7th, so that construction can later begin. The Serpentine Patong Hill Road is the island's worst choke point and a frequent accident scene. The new route will start on Prameta Road in downtown Patong and will include an elevated road across Pitit Gorani Road. It will then dive through a double-bore tunnel through the Knockered Hills and emerge onto an elevated link to Highway 4029 in Koh Kaew. Once open, the trip from the west coast to Phuket town and the airport should be much easier for daily commutes, emergency response, and tourist transfers. The budget for the project has risen from nearly 14.5 billion baht to 16.76 billion baht after the government decided to expropriate the land and build and operate the road itself instead of using a public-private partnership. EXAT says that the extra funds cover inflation and extra tunnel reinforcement to guard against potential landslides, an issue fresh in local memory after last year's deadly slope failure near Big Buddha. At the moment, the timeline for the project is for the clearing of debris and buildings by September 7th, groundbreaking in October 2025 at the earliest, with an eye to complete and open to traffic in October of 2028. EXAT has asked Patong Municipality to remind remaining property owners that under compensation contracts and last year's royal decree defining the corridor, all structures must be cleared within 90 days of payment. Municipal Council President Widawit Kurosambat says that local leaders will keep residents informed so the project stays on schedule and Phuket finally gains the safe, reliable hill crossing it needs. For more, visit thephuketnews.com. Officials have agreed on a practical traffic relief plan for the chronically jammed Koh Kaew intersection. Following a joint meeting on Monday led by Phuket City Police Chief, Police Colonel Chatri Choukeo, and several top local administrators, officials, and transport engineers in attendance, they all reviewed a 2-week pilot scheme that repainted curbs red and white to clearly mark no parking zones and created twin through lanes. Officers report noticeably smoother flow during school runs and evening peaks, though this is during the low tourist season. These temporary measures will now become standard. In addition, from Monday, U-turns at the intersection will be tightly controlled, allowed only 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., with officers directing vehicles and escorting pedestrians. The Phuket Highways Department has been told to fast-track zebra crossings and speed bumps near schools to cut accident risk. Koh Kaew is a vital link between the North International Schools and the bypass road, yet has long suffered overlapping jurisdictions and stalled fixes. Stakeholders yesterday agreed on a single operating protocol so that police, highway officials, and the Koh Kaew Oboto can act without delay. Police Colonel Chatri urged motorists to respect new lane markings and no parking zones, noting that lane discipline alone has already shaved minutes off peak hour journeys. Authorities will monitor congestion levels for a month and tweak signal timings or signage as needed. For more, visit thephuketnews.com. Phuket tourism leaders are racing against the clock to bring dozens of unlicensed guest houses and boutique lodgings into the legal fold before a crucial grace period ends on August 18. Under a special Interior Ministry regulation, buildings that opened before August 19, 2016, even if they don't fully meet the Hotel Act's technical definitions, may apply for a temporary hotel license, provided that they show solid structural integrity and basic fire safety systems. An additional environmental exemption issued last December means that properties under 2,500 square meters or fewer than 50 rooms now need only an initial environmental examination report. Chinawat Udomniyam, the president of the Phuket Boutique Accommodation Consortium, says that many small operators have already upgraded rooms, exits, and alarms, but still are mired in slow inspections and differing interpretations by local officials. To break the logjam, the province has launched an urgent field hospital task force. A deputy governor will chair a committee backed by planners, anti-corruption officers, and private advisors. They will shepherd 20 to 50 of the best prepared properties through the paperwork as a pilot. If time runs out, the consortium plans to ask the administrative court for interim protection in order for compliant but unlicensed venues keep trading while applications are processed. It is also lobbying Bangkok to extend the deadline or craft a dedicated small hotel law, arguing that family-run hostels and boutique inns spread tourism income into neighborhoods beyond Phuket's big resorts. For more, visit thephuketnews.com. Thailand's anti-graft watchdog has opened a full investigation into suspended Prime Minister Patong Tunnel, deepening the political turmoil triggered by a leaked phone call with Cambodian Senate President Hun Sen. The National Anti-Corruption Commission, the NACC, on Monday voted unanimously to form an inquiry panel led by its own chairman. Investigators will transcribe and translate the 10-minute recording, question witnesses, and review past constitutional court rulings to decide whether the suspended premier's remarks breach the ethical code that all ministers must uphold. The case runs parallel to a constitutional court probe that has already sidelined Ms. Bentotang from office. In the leaked phone call, she criticizes Thailand's second army commander and appears overly willing to accommodate Cambodia's Hun Sen while discussing an armed border standoff. 40 senators allege that those comments show a lack of integrity and a willingness to cede national interests, grounds for dismissal under Sections 160 and 170 of the Constitution. If the NACC finds serious ethical misconduct, it can forward the file to the Senate for impeachment or to prosecutors for criminal action. Ms. Bentotang, who may request more time to prepare her defense, insists that the call was private and taken out of context. Phuket's tourism-driven economy is watching closely. Any extended leadership vacuum in Bangkok risks delaying national infrastructure budgets that could flow to Phuket. For more, visit thephuketnews.com. Maya Bay, the famed cove on Phi Phi Lay, just a speedboat hop from Phuket, has delivered its most encouraging conservation news yet. Scientists counted 158 blacktip reef sharks cruising the shallows in a single morning. Marine biologists from the Trang-based Marine National Park Research Center spent the first week of July surveying the bay for the Shark Watch program. Using drones and baited underwater cameras, they recorded the peak aggregation at dawn on July 3rd, when 158 blacktip reef sharks scoured the area, the highest number ever documented there at one time. Blacktip reef sharks top the local food chain and need clear water, plentiful fish, and undisturbed nursery grounds. Their abundance, researchers say, confirms that Maya Bay's 5-year ecological recovery is working. The beach was closed to mass tourism in 2018 after decades of overcrowding, then reopened under strict daily visitor limits and a no-swim zone near fragile coral. For Phuket operators who run day trips to Phi Phi, the finding is more than a feel-good headline. Healthy reefs and marquee wildlife underpin sustainable tourism revenue. Park officials stress that the new shark data will guide future visitor caps, boat routes, and public education campaigns to keep the ecosystem in balance. For more, visit thephuketnews.com. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Phuket Extra, brought to you by pvcphuket.com. Join us again tomorrow. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000 and luxury properties can go all the way up to $20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks-and-mortar investment offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.